Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet Podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey, and today we're talking Week 3 rankings as we get, it's already Week 3. We're kind of gonna build our ranks though on the show. That's how we like to do it this year. I don't want to just go, hey, my number one is Saquon Barkley, and to go down the list. I don't think it helps people that much. I think we're going to take your questions that you've submitted to us on Instagram, through email, all of that stuff, and say who we would start out of those. And that's going to help build our ranks here tonight as we go through that. We'll do all that. If you want to get in on this, though, go to Instagram every week. We're going to post probably on Tuesdays. I'll post a little mailbag type thing. It'll tell you submit your questions. So go on there, submit your questions at Fantasy Football Prophet on Instagram, and we'll be able to answer as much as as many as you put out there. We'll do as best we can for you. On Wednesdays we'll be doing probably start sit, building our ranks. On Thursdays we'll do more like trade questions, maybe even more flex questions, stuff like that. Just different questions you might have of fantasy football this year. So check that out every week. We'll definitely try to keep the listeners involved. I think that always helps and helps build our ranks. And, it's easy to throw names on a piece of paper and put who you're going to put. But when you actually have the real decision in front of you, I think it really shows who you think is better. And that's the best way, I think, to build it. So make sure you guys check that out. So we'll just get into it here, Jeff. I got a bunch of different questions. So this is going to help, figure out what our ranks are going to be. So, all right, here we go. Where is it? Okay, we're gonna start low on the totem pole, very low, because this guy's he's trying to help with a quarterback for the week. So out of these three, this is where you're really struggling.
Okay.
I'm guessing he's like he lost Drew Brees or he lost Roethlisberger.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
So Andy Dalton, Matt Stafford, Daniel Jones. What are we thinking? Daniel Jones is not on my radar. So it's Stafford or Dalton, and I'm going to go Stafford, Dalton, Jones by far. Stafford's going to be ranked probably decent amount of spots ahead of Dalton for me. Stafford has Philadelphia is not an easy matchup on the road, but I don't think Dalton has an easy matchup at Buffalo either.
No.
So, and Stafford's been pretty solid, and I don't really trust anything about Andy Dalton. So, probably the same thing there.
Perfectly said. Next question.
So you don't want to dwell on Matt Stafford versus Andy Dalton for too long?
No.
Aaron Jones or Derrick Henry, half-point PPR. The PPR part really doesn't probably matter too much for these two guys necessarily. So it's Aaron Jones playing at home against Denver. Derrick Henry on the road at Jacksonville.
Okay, yeah, they both have bad matchups.
Mm-hmm. These aren't great at all.
And for me, I'm kind of an Aaron Jones fanboy. I have him above him because I like him better as a runner. You can make a case for either one of those because of the difficulty is going to be to run the ball, but I like Aaron Jones a little bit better.
I'm going to go the same. Aaron Jones, I'm thinking he's going to be borderline top 10 for me this week, and Derrick Henry is only going to be like a spot or two below that, but I think he will be below that. I can see Green Bay blowing out Denver a little bit more here and just them going to the run and just running the ball with Aaron Jones. And on the other hand, Tennessee and Jacksonville don't know quite what kind of game that's going to be. Jacksonville, you never know what Jacksonville team's going to show up. And I've liked Aaron Jones more. I have more confidence in Aaron Jones. I liked what I saw week 2. Derrick Henry, I will admit he's been better than I anticipated. He has continued the end of last season, so I'll give him that, but I'm still going Aaron Jones there. And I think he's just continue to be good. That opening matchup against Chicago is just tough. And I hope you got him. Maybe you bought low on him at that point, if you could, because that's definitely going to be a good player all year for you. Here we go. Another quarterback question. Kyler Murray or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Ooh.
So we got Kyler is playing at home against the Panthers, and we got Jimmy Garoppolo at home against the Steelers. Decent matchups for both.
I have them both just outside of the top 10, me personally. I actually have Garoppolo one spot above Kyler Murray. Look, I don't know yet, but I like what I saw last week with the 49ers. I like the fact that it looks like Garoppolo is getting more and more comfortable. Pittsburgh has not been a great D. And the fact that he can spread the ball out to many different players. We're talking, obviously Kittle is always good, but the wide receivers are coming up, and those running backs that he's able to throw to, it's looking like a very dynamic offense. I'm going to ride that one out. And personally, I'm even going for Garoppolo in a couple of mine. You like Kyler better?
Not necessarily.
At least Garoppolo has Kyler, look, he looked a lot better in week 2, but he wasn't really able to put it into the end zone. I feel like he hasn't really put it all together yet. Garoppolo, I know he'll probably get a touchdown or two just because of everyone else around him. So I think Garoppolo is safer. I think he'll put up more points as well, but that's why.
I think I'm going to still lean Kyler. Barely. I'm looking at my ranks right now. I think I'm going to slot Kyler around 13th and Garoppolo about 14th. I think I'm going to go I'm going to put them back to back. You know what's funny with quarterback? We talked about how deep it was. It's really quickly not become very deep at all.
No, with the injuries and
it's hurt. It's not as exciting as it was. You get guys late, but I'll go Kyler just barely. I guess if you want to go Jimmy, I would say is probably the safer option. Right, like he is safer. I'm going to say, you're probably going to get a good game, but I think they want to run the ball, and I don't know what Arizona wants to do. And it's, Kyler, he's going to be up and down. He's going to have some big weeks. It's going to be. I'll try him out yet. All right, next question. This just is D.D. Westbrook a good start this week?
No,
I don't think so. Because I don't even, so far he's been behind Chark and Conley. And Minshew, again, like I said, he's not bad. He's fine, but they're not really giving him the reins to the offense really right now. They're not really opening it up for him at all. So, sure, it could be a game D.D. Westbrook decides to do something, but Thursday night game, nah, just don't deal with it. Just not going to mess with it.
Short turnaround, and I realize they played 2 good teams already, right? But if you just look at the numbers, he wasn't targeted an exorbitant amount. It was 6 targets and then 5. First game, 5 catches for 30 yards, and he did get the touchdown. That saves you. But other than that, you look in the next game against Houston, 5 targets, only 1 reception for 3 yards. So even the passes that they're attempting to him have been very short. So does it mean that D.D. is never going to get back on track? No. But right now, their game plan does not match high production as far as fantasy goes.
Here we go. Got a wide receiver question. Josh Gordon, Robbie Anderson, or DK Metcalf? So what kind of order are we looking here? I'm going to say actually out of these, Robbie Anderson's just not there for me because they're going to be with Luke Falk at this point as their starting quarterback is. Luke Falk did fine completion percentage wise because they're just not going to really try much. I think he did get one decent throw to Anderson, but yeah, you can't trust that. Are they playing the Patriots this week? Is that what it is? Right? Yeah, playing at New England. Yep. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's going to be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
So definitely don't consider Robbie Anderson. So you're looking at DK Metcalf and you're looking at Josh Gordon. So Josh Gordon, he's no guarantee because we saw last week if they get up by a lot, they don't really need to throw the ball around too much. DK Metcalf, he's still learning. Obviously, he's not a guarantee either. But this is tough for me right here.
Look, I already know I'm going with Josh Gordon, and I'm banking it on, I think both of them, it's a little bit of hope, right? A lot of talent, and you're not exactly sure what their situation is going to call for. DK Metcalf, unbelievably, probably has a better road to catching some balls because of the fact that I'm really worried that New England will get out of control really quickly and they won't have to use him. You still don't know what the heck is going on with Antonio Brown, how they're going to split it up. Last game does not bode well for him, but he's still the player that has been around longer. And, I'm going for that because I think that in a weird kind of way, they feel like a very similar player at the moment.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. I think I have to go Josh Gordon, right? I like DK.
I love DK Metcalf.
I think
really
DK Metcalf is going to be really good. I just don't know if it's happening right now, right? It's going to take some time. I think he's going to be really good, though. So just keep that. I'll go Gordon. Next up is actually just not a start-sit question, but I'll bring this one into this episode here. It says, who's had a rough start, but you think will improve drastically? I'm just kind of curious if you have an option here. I'll say I actually have a couple. So, like Mike Evans has had a really rough go of it to start. I'm not worried about that. I think he's going to be perfectly fine. Like, he's way down there. He's right. He's behind Keyshawn Johnson and TJ Jones and Isaiah McKenzie. I believe that will turn around. And so I'm not terribly worried about Mike Evans. I mean, give me a couple more weeks and I'll change my story on that. And another one is going to be, I'll say George Kittle. He's come out and done nothing in 2 games, like just 50 yards, just nothing. The team's been good, though. It's going to turn around. I think I worry slightly that because they have so many guys to throw the ball to now, they're not just force-feeding Kittle, and maybe that's going to – he won't put up probably the crazy numbers he did last year. But I think he's going to be fine. He'll be perfectly fine. So Kittle and Evans, I wouldn't worry too much right now about them.
Well, if you look at the rankings currently, you'll see that you can pick a lot of big names.
There's quite a few of them.
But I guess ones that, because everyone assumes like the top 5-10 guys are going to kind of turn it around. But I think Mike Williams still has a very good shot at being a good wide receiver. He really hasn't done anything to this point. I mean, I almost want to say Alvin Kamara. I know that no one is taking me up on that one, but I think he'll be fine. I know because of the Breeze situation, I think I can say it out loud and people won't, completely dismiss it because he really hasn't been spectacular by, taking him in the top 5 pick. But I think he'll be completely fine even without Breeze. I think he'll get it together. I think they have to use him a lot more. So I guess that one's kind of a cheat, but those are 2 guys that I'm not worried about.
All right, back to the ranks. Which running back would you start this week? So Devin Singletary, if healthy, is in this. I'm just not even worried about it. Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, Adrian Peterson. I'm just not going to worry about Devin Singletary. I don't know if he will be healthy. Even if he is, I don't think they're going to rush him and try to use him too much. So I'm not going to play him. So it's Hyde, Johnson, Peterson. How am I going to rank these guys? I'll say I think I would rank them. I'm looking, and I think I'm keep this Hyde, Johnson, Peterson. Yeah. I think Hyde's over Johnson.
Yeah, actually, I have Hyde number 1.
And Peterson's playing Chicago.
Yeah. So I was going to say AP would be the only one I kind of wonder about because how much do you actually think Duke Johnson is going to get? Because if Hyde is that high.
Yeah.
But yeah, the matchup really, really hurts AP. So yeah, I would agree with that.
It kind of sucks for Duke Johnson. He's not getting that shot. I'm curious what he could have done, but maybe he just can't do it as a full-time back, and people, they know that, and they're not going to give him the shot for it. So yeah, I thought he could have, I don't know. I thought he could be better at this, but Carlos Hyde, I thought he was done. And he's really not, right? It's kind of, I didn't see it coming. All right, here we go. Marquise Goodwin or John Ross?
I actually like John Ross.
John Ross. Yeah, it's not going to be there every week. There's going to be some up and down to that, right? It's going to, like last week could have been that down. It was very close to being a complete down week for him, and he, got the absolute 100% garbage time touchdown, which just, completely saved people. And yeah, there's going to be weeks where that doesn't happen. But they're going to keep throwing the ball deep to him. He's going to hit probably more often than he doesn't. All right. David Montgomery or Raheem Mostert?
I mean, I'm still going Montgomery, but I feel like Raheem is coming up, but I still get a little too worried the fact that I believe he is third on that. Well, he's second on that. I don't know what it is, but I keep going back to that 49ers depth chart. And if you're not Breida, I don't exactly know your role yet. I'm still waiting for that to kind of clear up. But I really like him. I think he is one that is completely trending up in the right direction. But Montgomery, it looks like they're going to utilize him. They kind of force-fed him the ball. And he has looked pretty good, even though he hasn't come out for his full potential. And, Washington, I don't know. They don't really scare me, so I like Montgomery.
Yeah, I'm going to go Montgomery here as well, just because he's guaranteed the work at this point, it looks like. And Mostert isn't. If he ever became the starter there, if Breida went down, which Breida's known to get hurt, this could happen. So just watch out for that, but not this week. You play Montgomery, and yeah, you that's what you're going to do. All right, Josh Allen or Carson Wentz?
I don't care. I'm going Wentz all day.
I'm going Wentz too, but they're actually extremely close in my ranks. Wentz is 9th, Allen's 10th in my ranks right now. They're actually, it seems like when you think about it, yeah, of course I'm going to start Wentz, but the rankings wise, they're right there. Okay, not a question that came in from a listener, but Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield?
I'm still going Mayfield, and I know you disagree with me.
I'm actually going Allen. Baker needs to show me something. I need to see it.
I agree.
More than like an 89-yard bomb. Like, he needs more than that. He just needs. I don't know what it was last night. He just doesn't look 100% right. He's still learning. I was hoping to see a second-year quarterback that just looked like he figured it all out, and I don't see that yet. Lamar Jackson's overtaken him as the top second-year quarterback.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying. He does look very uncomfortable in the pocket, without a doubt. But I know that Allen has been able to pull out fantasy numbers out of his, because he's able to rush a little bit. These kind of rushing numbers are not anywhere near what he was able to do at the end of last year. And remember, his games have been very similar, where he's gotten about 250 yards passing, only a yard off, actually, 254 and 253, 1 touchdown, and then one game he had 2 interceptions along with that. And then he has been able to run for about, we'll average it out to about 27 yards and a touchdown in each of those games, which has saved him. He also did that against New York Giants and the New York Jets. So any one you play, unless it's Miami, I have a better feeling about. So I still like Baker with all of his toys and him hopefully being a little more comfortable, because all it takes is one play from Odell, and he pretty much does exactly what Josh Allen does in the passing game. And then anything else is, kind of cherry on top. So I still like I totally understand where you're coming from, but once again, I can't get on the Josh Allen train, and maybe that's me. Maybe that's my bias. I don't know.
It's something about Josh Allen. It feels like he's just putting up fantasy numbers, and it just seems to keep happening, right? He puts up these fantasy numbers, and I don't know. I'm kind of buying in that he's a much better fantasy quarterback than he is a real quarterback, and it just might continue.
Well, that is without a doubt. But I'm just worried one of these games he will not have a touchdown rushing, and you're going to get a really bad performance from him. All
right, let's go to another couple. We got a lot of quarterback questions. A lot of people are hit by this injuries. So this is if Cam plays, Kyler Murray or Cam Newton. I'm still going Kyler, actually. Cam looked just bad. I can't go with him.
Yeah, and on top of that, even if he is good to go, you don't know how that injury is going to nag him. He did look really, really bad. Talking about, Mayfield, I kind of felt the same way watching Cam, but worse, because he shouldn't look like that. And he looked completely out of his element. He didn't know what he was doing. They weren't giving him a whole lot of options you could change the whole game plan, just dump it off to, McCaffrey every time, which I think would be a smart move. But it was an ugly outing, and then the injury on top of it has completely wiped out my confidence in him for the moment.
Another quarterback question. We got 4 of them. So again, this is probably a Breeze or Roethlisberger guy. So 2 of them we talked about earlier. We had Stafford and Dalton, and we said Stafford over Dalton. So let's throw 2 more names in there. So another guy we've talked about Jimmy Garoppolo, but not in the terms of Stafford, and then Kirk Cousins. So Stafford, Dalton, Garoppolo, Cousins. So I think we're both going to agree it's Garoppolo, Stafford, Cousins, Dalton, or is it Dalton Cousins?
I actually do have Cousins Dalton. But
too.
You could change my mind if you wanted to.
You could, because Cousins hasn't. He's been
really bad.
He has. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest difference for me between the two is Cousins still has a lot of weapons, and he's going against Oakland compared to Buffalo, which Buffalo has a better defense. So I'm judging on matchup alone, really, between those two.
Yep.
But yeah, Garoppolo, Stafford, Cousins, Dalton.
Yeah. All right, last one. This is going to be the last one of the day. It's another quarterback question. I don't know. We usually don't have so many quarterback questions, but he has 3 quarterbacks. Who should he play?
Okay.
Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Lamar Jackson. That's pretty
Lamar.
easy.
Yeah.
I wanted to end it with an easy one. It's Lamar.
I would actually
if you
go
rank
Lamar,
them,
Brady,
Wentz.
Wentz.
Yeah. Yep. That's Lamar is just you throw him in the lineup and you don't hesitate anymore.
Okay.
That's it for the questions. So
Here's my question
Yep.
for you. A lot of good quarterbacks. A lot of people got hurt. Dak has been probably the most surprising. Lamar's been most surprising, but Dak has been quietly probably one of the best, if it wasn't Mahomes, best quarterbacks the first 2 weeks. Where does he rank on your list? Because you can go a bunch of different ways, right? Mahomes is going against Baltimore, which
we're just talking about week 3 here. Where's
week 3.
Prescott? Okay.
Prescott is going against Miami, the mother of all, but you could get way ahead, kind of like Tom Brady did.
You could.
Then you have Lamar against KC, could be a shootout. You have Tom Brady against the Jets, where he really could take advantage of them. I would say those 4 stand out. How do you rank those 4?
So the Dak blowout thing, slightly, yeah, it could just be Zeke just runs through them and you don't have to do anything else. But here's my ranks. Pat Mahomes, 1. Dak Prescott, 2. Lamar Jackson, 3. Tom Brady, 4. That's what I went with.
Yeah, I have the exact same.
Okay.
I put Dak up there because Miami has been so bad.
It's the matchup's awesome. It's just, do they get up too much where he just goes away and doesn't need to? That's the worry. But you're going to get a great week.
And
Dak's,
my worry too is Lamar, even though he's number 3 for me. So no one get frustrated. But I do worry a little bit watching if KC does go out and put up a lot of points. I don't think you haven't watched Lamar chase a team yet.
Yeah.
So will he start forcing it? Will he go into bad habits? That's my question. So I think he'll still put up points, but you might actually see some turnovers in a unique one. But he's still number 3, so you're playing him no matter what almost. Lamar's a weird one. You might actually have 2 of those guys. But if he comes out and he competes, Mahomes and him could both have enormous days.
Yep. All right, I'll just look at running backs real quick, just real quick here at the top, just because it's not terribly interesting, but I think there's one interesting name that's jumped up. So I put Zeke 1 because of the matchup. It could be great.
Me too. Yeah.
McCaffrey's my number 2 again. I think they have a pretty good matchup.
I don't know why I'm disagreeing with you right away, but I put Barkley.
Okay,
there.
I have Barkley 3.
Okay,
I have Barkley 3, so I went Zeke, McCaffrey, Barkley. Do you have McCaffrey 3?
I do have number 3.
Dalvin Cook 4.
I have Kamara.
Okay, Kamara's 6th for me.
Okay, here, this is probably easier than going through the top. I know people like that anyway. First of all, you have Kamara number 6. Mm-hmm. So did the loss of Breeze help or hurt him in your rankings?
It didn't. This honestly, truly didn't affect it. Okay. It's more of at Seattle isn't great. And I, for some reason, buy into Nick Chubb this week. So Nick Chubb's 5. So that's where I think
even though he's going against the Rams,
I think he can play against them. I think it'd be all right. I think they're going to be okay. And Kamara, I can easily put him up one more spot. But Dalvin Cook, I like the way Dalvin Cook's played.
He's number 5 for me, and I love it. I'm just not ready to completely take my entire rankings and throw them out the window.
So the only other player curious about, Austin Eckler, where'd he end up falling?
I mean, hey man, he's been amazing. I put him at number 8.
He's number 8 for me too. Okay, yeah, it's crazy that quickly it happened. So
actually, no, I'm taking that right. I'm going to put him at 7. I lied because I'm looking at it, and David Johnson was a spot ahead of him for me, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
I get it. He is ahead of David Johnson for me. So, or no, he's not. That's right. David Johnson is 7. I get that.
Yeah, he was.
I'm going to keep it. Yeah. But I know what you.
I'm actually moving David Johnson down 2 because Le'Veon Bell is the only guy in town, so I'm moving him up to number 8, even though he's probably going to get crushed. But I think he'll get another 20 touches. So anyway, I do have to. So with the quarterbacks getting hurt,
Yep.
moving to wide receiver.
Yes, this is where it actually could have.
Yes, this is where it has affected it. So number one, where did Juju go for you this week?
He's 9th.
Okay.
So Mason Rudolph was fine. He really was. And Juju, he's still, again, the wide receivers drop off a lot to me. Juju's he's 9th. He has to be up there for me. And Michael Thomas, he's 8th. The matchup I don't love, but he's going to probably get a lot of targets. So he's 8th. And I think the expert consensus right now has Chris Godwin ahead of Mike Evans. I can't do that. God, I think they have a good matchup. It's probably going to be a pretty good game for them. It should. I mean, we say that and we think it should be, but Jameis will find a way to not make it that. Right? So Godwin is in my top. Let's see. He's top. Where is he? Let me throw him here. He's actually 11th.
Well, you and me have a very similar ranking.
Yeah.
So I have Juju 10th, Chris Godwin 11th. Even though he is actually, we're actually low on Godwin this week.
I know we are, but part of it is Jameis. But this, you know how Jameis does this. He has these big weeks after the down weeks where you start to lower him, right?
Well, yeah, I know, but he hasn't had a big week.
Yeah.
They look really bad.
So that's my word. This should be a great matchup. This should be a really good opportunity, but
should be the turnaround. But where did you have Michael Thomas in?
He's 8th. Yeah, he's 8th. He's
okay.
Up. Yeah, he's.
Oh, you just said that.
Yeah,
okay,
he'll
I had
good.
him at 8th as well. Is there anyone that is surprising?
Amari Cooper made my top 5 because it's Miami. Everybody playing Miami is just going to get a boost.
Yeah. Actually, tell you the truth, Cooper is number 6 for me, but the person who got a bigger boost, honestly, is I don't know what I was about to say there.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Hold on.
Where do you have is Keenan Allen up there for you?
Yeah, Keenan Allen is number 5 for me, actually.
Okay.
He after watching him against Detroit, I watched that entire game. It's just very clear that anytime he wants to, he can get open, and Phillip Rivers is going to force feed him the ball, even to the point where they're going to lose because of it.
So, he was making Slay look stupid there for a while. Until Slay stepped it up in the 4th bit, but he was.
Well, it's very difficult to cover him for an entire game when you're throwing him that often.
In part, I have Keenan Allen 4th, and I mean a lot of this is there. It's a mixture of things. It's matchups and injuries. So it's like because Juju and Michael Thomas without their quarterbacks. It's Devontae Adams playing against Denver, who's a very good defense yet. It's the fact that Tampa, I don't trust Jameis Winston. All these guys then go lower and then like Adam Thielen's down there because I don't trust Kirk Cousins. So Keenan Allen, he jumps up because of all those factors, I feel like. He really takes a jump because of there's just so many different factors making him up. And like Antonio Brown, we don't know quite what he is yet. And who knows? Would it shock you if all of a sudden Antonio Brown's not playing Sunday because of all these all this stuff going on? Because the guy's just a moron, it sounds like. So
I have him 9th right now, but I don't feel good or bad about it. I'm just like indifferent with Antonio Brown at the moment because you have to play him if he's on your team.
Yep.
You would rank him in the top 10, I would assume, but I'm not surprised. I'm not even surprised with the Patriots if he plays and then he takes a backseat to Josh Gordon all of a sudden.
Yep. Good.
I don't know.
And then I'll say over at tight end real quick, there's nothing much there. It's Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle for me. Those are my top 3. Ertz's targets should go way up right now, I feel like, with all the injuries to the Eagles. He might be back to more like last year's Ertz. Tight end's gotten really bare really quick again. Mark Andrews is 4th for me. He's jumped all the way up to the 4th ranked tight end.
Yeah, he's actually my 4th as well.
And the others, OJ Howard's still a top 10 tight end.
Yeah, I actually...
One more time.
I haven't moved him down because the people underneath him, I'm kind of like...
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Is it really worth taking the shot? I'd rather take the shot with Howard.
I would too. And so that's pretty much it. But all right.
Where do you actually have Hawkinson? I think that's an interesting one.
He's 12th.
Okay, big first week, not great.
Oh, no, 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's 12th. He is 12th.
I have him 10th. I'm still willing to take a shot at him. And the guy, the man of the hour, if you will. Am I going alone? How far up did Will Dissly go up for you? Or are you just
17th?
You're not on him yet. I put him up to 13th, and I'm just like, maybe?
This tight end position got ugly. Thank God I got Mark Andrews.
I know.
But all right, that's going to do it for ranks. We'll be back tomorrow with some more of your questions. Talk to you guys then.